right, hello everybody. Welcome to Rogue Squadrons and the Warlord of Serenno. So today we're going to be doing a Rogue Squadron two-shot, I should say. That's going to be featuring the Starship of the Galaxy rules pretty heavily, but it's going to be one-man fighters. It's something I've talked about on the podcast and a couple YouTube videos multiple times. So I finally decided to actually get it going. We've got a cool crew of the Dungeon Jedi Master Patreons with us, and we'll be going to kind of do a little bit of old school, early New Republic era when they're still cleaning up the warlords of the former empire that have all kind of claimed their own little fiefdoms. And we're gonna get to have some of that old. And if you ever read like any like the old Michael Stackpole or Aaron Alster, I'm blanking on his name, but the people that wrote Rogue Squadron and Race Squadron, it's gonna have a really similar feel to that too for the tone. But should be a blast. And if you haven't, too, and if you're interested in kind of, if you're running your own campaign and looking to bring the Starship rules to your crew, check out, we've got a podcast too, which I'll link in the chat in a bit, as well as I put out a new YouTube video Sunday, I think, that goes over some cool tips and tricks or some of the stumbling blocks I found when just kind of going through and getting Starship stuff all set up. But we're going to kick right into it. So, as I said, this is Imperial era. This is New Republic era. The New Republic has just established itself. It's about a year after the Battle of Endor, where the Emperor fell and Vader was killed, and the Death Star was destroyed. So the Republic is finally establishing itself as a political government outside of the rebellion, and they're trying to swallow or kind of capture and bring in as many systems as it can and take them from the Empire and bring them into the New Republic fold. And in that aim, Admiral Akbar and the Rogue Squadron have been instrumental, taking over different Imperial strongholds, defeating them in the air so the ground troops can come in and secure the planets. And that's just been kind of the daily grind of finding new isolated imperial worlds and coming in with the fleet and trying to subdue them and liberate the population. And you guys are Rogue Squadron, led by Wedge and Tilly's. You are the elite squadron of both the Rebellion and New Republic era. Whenever they've got a crucial mission, you're the starfighter pilots they turn to. And you, kind of speaking of a crucial mission, you guys are on a crucial mission right now. So as soon as you look around you, you're in your cockpit, whether you be in an X-wing or A-wing, B-wing, whatever you may be flying, you're hurtling through hyperspace with the blue lines of space streaking past you on your way to the latest mission. And you guys would know, and you kind of a little flashback, you were spoken to by Wedge Antilles and Admiral Akbar about a little secret mission that the New Republic has assigned to the Rogue Squadron. You guys are going to take out the core defenses of the planet Junction in preparation for their assault on Serenno. So they want you guys to go in, for the Rogue Squadron members, to hopefully stealthily sneak into the system and take out the advanced orbital platform before the rest of the fleet comes in. That orbital platform, it's got some pretty heavy firepower, and they don't want their capital ships exposed to it. So they want you guys to go in, sneak in quietly, destroy the ship, or destroy that orbital platform, and the fleet will come in and hopefully take Junction before you guys make your way towards Serenno. So as you guys are streaking through, you see those bright hyperspace lights around you until all of a sudden you're jerked back into real space. And you guys see pretty far in front of you the world of Junction, but you also see kind of an asteroid field as well as a nebula on either side of you, kind of surrounding the flight path into Serenno. You guys know that with you being small fighters, it's pretty easy to get in and out unnoticed as long as you're careful and cautious. But you definitely know with that orbital platform, you want to get as close as you can without alerting anybody. And what we're going to do here is one of my favorite little things. We're going to do a skill adventure. So as you guys kind of get used to, or you got to come out of hyperspace, you know your objective to get closer to that orbital platform and hopefully bomb it to hell before the fleet comes in. we're going to do a skill adventure, which basically means you guys need to get 3 successes before 3 failures. And each time there's a failure, something happens that's not so pleasant. If you get 3 of them, something pretty bad happens in case before you get those 3 successes. And with a skill adventure too, basically what I always recommend is kind of think of what you'd want to do, whether it relate to a certain skill or not, but kind of what your player or your character would do in that situation, and kind of describe it. And then I'll call out for a skill that may be associated with it, and then we'll roll. And then if you beat that DC, you get 1 success, and if you fail it, you get a failure, and that part of that fail state happens. So as I said, you guys come out of hyperspace, the 4 ships, and we'll have you guys describe what you look like before we kick off the adventure. But you guys see ahead of you an asteroid field to the right, straight ahead to the right side, kind of angling in, a little bit of a nebula. You see swirling energy. And you guys came this way because you know it's the best chance you have of sneaking up on that orbital platform with the heavy weaponry. But you know, it's going to be a little bit of a treacherous flight. The asteroid field has some clear danger, or you've got to swerve in and out of those asteroids to avoid being hit or making yourself too noticeable. And the nebula, it plays havoc on shields, sensors, energy, and if you fly in the wrong spot, you may spark something that may damage the ship and light you up like a beacon. So we'll kick off that skill adventure, but before we do that, let's introduce the rogues. So I'm just actually starting in numerical order. Rogue 7. Give your PC name, but don't describe how your PC looks just yet. Just describe how your ship looks and what ship you're flying.
PC is K9D0. It's a droid. He's flying an A-wing that just the kind of like the little icon here is orange stripe down the middle of it, and on one of the left wing he's painted a pin-up pleasure droid in the style of the old bombers from World War I and II, and that's where he gets his +1 charisma for the ship.
Perfect. And I have to ask, what does that pin-up pleasure droid look like? I know, risky ask on that one. Risky ask.
So I forget which episode of Clone Wars it was, but they're in the, I think it's when someone's getting poisoned or whatever, there was these droids in the back that was just like Twi'lek in like shape almost, with just like the regular droid head. But I thought those were super voluptuous for a droid in a perceived kids show. So one of those holding like a can of oil, their legs folded over, kind of leaning back.
Nice. Perfect. Well, flying next to him, we've got Rogue 9.
Yes, that'd be me. I am playing Fiden Rodgal. We'll talk about my species later. I'm also flying an X-Wing that has more of a traditional kind of A New Hope white and red paint job. And on the side is a number of TIE fighters, you know, like how those old fighters had, like, you know, little markings. And also a symbol, I believe. Did Saga Rara's Partisans ever have a symbol?
I don't know if they did or not. That's a good question.
Yeah, well,
we'll say they did.
We'll say. Yeah. So there would have been one of those on his thing as well, stipulating that he might have been like a survivor of that whole thing.
Nice. Perfect. And on the other side, we've got Rogue 11.
Rogue 11, his name is Zan Aduro. He is flying a B-wing, and it is more of the, you know, traditional white and gray colors with the New Republic logo on his S-foils, and scorch marks everywhere just from all the engagements he's been in. He's more about functionality than appearance on his ship.
Nice. All right. And last but not least, we've got Rogue 12.
All right, so I'll be playing Drayton Duskring, and I'm flying an X-Wing. It's like a brand new X-Wing. It's like fresh off the factory, pretty much. It's all polished, real nice. He's the noob of the group. Just flying your standard issue X-Wing.
Perfect. Well, you guys fly in. You see what's ahead of you. I know you got to get in quick, quiet, without drawing too much attention, because that orbital platform could not only chew up the fleet, but can do some major damage, even to a starfighter, if they come into the system without being cautious. So I'll kick it over to you guys. Oh, actually, one thing I always forget, I should probably say this too. All right, yeah. So welcome everybody to for the stream. If you're not a follower already, drop a follow. We've got Star Wars 5e content pretty much most Tuesdays. Every now and then we'll mix in some other games too with Mutants and Masterminds. I got a Power Rangers game coming up in April, which I'm looking forward to. And so mostly Star Wars, but kind of a lot of other systems too. So if you're not already a follower, drop a follow every Tuesday at usually 6:37. We'll have a game going. If you see some cool clips or something funny or just really interesting, clip it too. Always love seeing those come through. And yeah, just support the channel. And if you're not already subscribed to Dungeon Jedi Masters YouTube or Todd Moonbounce's Twitch too, check those both out. They've always got some great content too. Sweet. So actually, I'll turn it back to you guys. So 3 successes before 3 failures. You can use your ship skills or your skills too, but those may sometimes come with a disadvantage. So what are you guys doing first? Who wants to take up the first go?
Maybe numerical order?
Sure. Oh, yeah. So pressure's on Rogue 7 if you guys want to go that route.
Thanks for that.
It's not, boss.
I'd suggest that we try to hide among the asteroids and kind of just pulse our engines with them so we can drift a little closer to the base that we're going towards. The space station.
Perfect.
I think that's
All
a great
right.
idea.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So Rogue 7, make a hide check or stealth check, depending on which one you want to choose.
If you're doing a stealth check, that's a disadvantage.
That'd be this. Also, only the person who suggested has to roll, so the whole crew doesn't. But if you do stealth, it would be a disadvantage versus a hide. So you use your PC stats for the stealth, or the ship stats for hide. Or if you don't have hide, you just do a dexterity check. Solid. So K9 taking the lead, you maneuver your X-wing in. Sorry, you're an X-wing, right?
A-wing.
A-wing. Sorry, you maneuver your A-wing in, and the rest of the Rogue Squadron follows you in, and you're able to find some cool flight plans that minimize exposure from the planet junction and where that orbital platform is located at. It allows you guys to get a little closer in without drawing any attention. You kind of just glide through space. And these asteroids are coming in hot and fast, but luckily you're hiding as you're hiding from junction, you're so far avoiding any kerfuffles that may come from them. So you guys have 1 success, no failures. Who wants to go next? We're going in order. Rogue 9.
Fair enough. I'll do it. All right, gotta do a hide check.
Oh no! So just 1 hide check for K9. So as you guys hide in there, so you basically you can propose any new action on that side for what your character would do as you guys kind of make your way through the first leg of the asteroid. What you may do to help advance the cause.
In that case, would it be possible to scan the asteroid field to sort of get an idea of each asteroid's trajectory?
Definitely, yeah. I can make a scan check.
All right. Because I have to ask, am I able to do guidance beforehand?
We'll say sure. You got time right now. There's nothing pressing against you.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to do the scan check and then add guidance. Wow.
All right.
That gets bumped up to a 7.
All right.
One of the game.
Everybody make me a dexterity saving throw.
Sorry, guys.
For your ships, too. Yeah.
We started with full inspiration, right?
Oh, actually, yes. Everybody gets 1 inspiration. So it's a 1 shot or 2 shot, I should say. So you guys have 1 inspiration point. I forgot to mention that. You can call that in anytime you want to. And basically, inspiration point, it gives you 1 reroll for anything that you want to. You can reroll that and hopefully get a different result. So you all have 1. And through cool RP moments, or if the chat notices anything too, feel free to post it.
Okay. God, what are we proficient in again in saves? I forgot.
So it's a tiny or small fighter.
Doesn't it? Doesn't it use your character proficiency?
Oh, let me pull it up. I think the fighter gives you something. I think it's like dexterity and something.
I had that saved on mine, but it didn't save it.
Strength and dexterity.
Sorry, I don't
Okay.
know why I rolled with advantage.
Oh, first, we always take the first roll, so 25 is more than good.
Ooh, that's a good point. I will go ahead and just do toggle. Okay.
All right. So most of you guys make it through. Which rogue is Drayden? Unfortunately.
Say what?
Rogue 12, you're Drayden, right?
Yeah, that's me. Yep.
Okay. Yep. Most of you guys fly through the asteroid fields, and as Rogue 9 tries to scan, and he thinks he finds a good route that'll avoid most of the asteroids, but unfortunately, a sleeper asteroid kind of just pops out of another, alters its trajectory, and most of you guys are able to pull up in time, but Rogue 12, you take a bit of the damage as that kind of clips your wings as you're flying through, and you're gonna take 2d6 damage to your shields. Oof. Unfortunately, 9 shield damage as that clips into you.
Oof. Sorry about
All right.
that.
Right. So far, you guys have 1 success, 1 failure, and Rogue 11, you're up.
Alrighty. Most likely, Zan will want to just try to keep piloting nice and fancy through this asteroid field. So just zigging and zagging as quickly as he can. Up,
Perfect.
around, down, and whipping around.
All right. Make a maneuvering check, or if you want to do piloting at disadvantage, your choice.
I will do piloting at disadvantage, but I think I'm going to roll... I think I don't have my character sheet set up properly. Is there a key I hit for roll 20 to make it disadvantage?
It should be at
It's
the
up at the
top.
top of the sheet.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Disadvantage. Oh, wrong sheet.
Solid. Yeah, even with that disadvantage, so Rogue 11, you do some expert piloting. And actually, how are you going through? Are you doing like a hot hand through the asteroids, or are you going slowly, cautiously?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both.
Yeah. So you're blasting through, moving like with precision. You're juking and dodging some of these asteroids and giving the crew a safe path. They can maneuver through this asteroid field without drawing attention and without clipping their wings again. So you guys now have 2 successes, 1 failure. So 1 more success, and you guys make it out all right. And, 1 or 2 more failures, something happens. So we're going to go up to the last rogue on that side, Rogue 12. What do you want to do?
All right, so I just want to kind of keep continuing on kind of cautiously, but I want to kind of be looking up, examining the asteroids, making sure there's no enemy fighters hiding out in the asteroid field or scouts or recon, anything.
Perfect. Give me a probe check.
What probe check? Okay, let's see if I can find that here. What would that be, actually?
So if you have the probe skill, you'd be probe. If you don't, you can do an intelligence check too for the ship.
Okay, cool.
Or if you want to do an investigation check for your... Oh, perfect. You nailed it. So you scan through, you kind of start looking for enemy fighters, and you don't see... so you kind of get a clear path where the crew can make their way through the rest of the asteroid field and get within range of the orbital platform. And as you scan, you don't see any TIE fighters in the system or any Imperial ships in the area, but you do see the big Golem station where they've got that orbital defense platform. Do you see it there? And fortunately, you guys have made it in there without alerting the Imperial presence. Nothing's kind of flagged into you. So now that the big thing is you guys just have to light that ship up. So you guys know that right now, and actually too, your scan lets you know the shields aren't up. They don't think there are any threats in the system. So a couple good blows may take it down quick. But you also know that's can probably scramble the fighters, though. And there may be a little bit of Imperial resistance afterwards. All
All
right.
right.
So, what's the
Gentlemen,
crew doing?
should we light them up? It's our target, right?
Sounds good to me. I can prioritize the fighters.
How far away were we from the station?
So you guys got real close. I'm gonna switch the map over. So you guys are coming. You should see it on your roll 20. I'll switch it for the stream in just a second. You guys are coming from this left end, so you're pretty close to it. You are. Let me do a little quick measuring tool there. Uh, so 400 feet away.
Oops, I didn't mean to do that.
So you guys can place your ships anywhere you like on that side, and definitely you guys get a blow or whatever you want to shoot at the platform. Shoot it at it, and all four of you guys can take a shot. This is kind of a group check. This isn't part of the skill challenge, but as long as two of you guys hit, you guys will blow that up.
Okay, will we say that there's a friendly ship within 100 feet of me?
Oh yeah, you got your squadron around. I imagine you guys are at least. It looks like you're pretty close. Everybody's.
Okay, I'd like to go into attack pattern delta, and so I could get advantage on the attack roll.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll go ahead and fire a torpedo at it.
All right. Sweet. So you're shooting a torpedo. I'll make the save for the station in a second. What's everybody else shooting at it?
Just blasters for me.
I'll go
Actually,
twin
no.
laser cannon.
All right,
Yeah. I'll go ahead and open S foils.
perfect.
Just
Sweet.
Okay. That should be a 14 with the S foils.
Perfect. So let me make a save for that. That's got a -2. Oh yeah, so yeah, you get 2 sets. So as you guys let loose torpedoes, blasters flaring at this orbital platform, you see it eventually just flicker. You see kind of those bolts burning through. You see that torpedo hit it, and you see it just explode. And as it explodes, you see kind of like ships begin to mobilize from the ground and start to make their way up towards the platform. So I'm going to have you guys roll initiative. Oh, I got to switch that. There we go. All right. So as you guys, and so if you click on your token before it'll roll. So if you didn't come up on there, just click on your token and roll real quick again. Then put that first number in, and it'll come up there. And as you guys kind of start to ping, you start to see ships emerging from both the atmosphere as well as some of the other kind of around the planet. You see 2 wings of TIE fighters view, all being led by what looks to be an advanced TIE fighter. You see them kind of roaring into view. You hear the engines blaring as they come forward. You begin to engage their weaponry. So let me get them into initiative order.
I actually don't see my token on there. Sorry.
Oh, yep. So if you go to your token and click it, you can throw it over onto the sheet.
Oh, I see. Okay.
All right.
Perfect. As you guys see that station explode, kind of go up into flames, you start to see other Republic ships bounce inbound, kind of heading in towards the fray. You see the Home One capital ship of Admiral Akbar float into view, begin to light up some of the other Imperial Star Destroyers and the craft in the area, beginning to engage with the threat. And you see other X-wings and A-wings, B-wings, Y-wings, kind of dogfighting through the streets, or through the skies of Junction, taking on those Imperials and bringing the fight to liberate the planet from the mitts of the Imperials. All right, so is everybody in? So which X-wing is that? So Rogue 12, what did you roll for your first initiative?
20.
20, perfect. All right, so you guys see these advanced TIE fighters flying in, preparing for their own attack runs, and you see that it looks like Blue Squadron is first up to act. You see the TIE fighter kind of bristling with its armaments, preparing to move in on the beleaguered group. So it is going to go first. So you see it move slightly closer, and it's going to take aim at the blue wing, or the B wing, not the blue wing. And you see its twin laser cannons start to spark. You see two green globs of energy come flying at you. But you're an expert pilot. You're Rogue Squadron. You easily dodge around those blasts as if you kind of saw them coming. And you see the fighter kind of hang in the air, holding position. Rogue 12, you're up.
All right. Well, I'm going to move in close to engage whatever fighter is closest to me, which looks like it might be the red squad up above us. Let's see here. And then if I can get one within range, I'll go ahead and take a shot at it.
Perfect. Yeah, with going up at those guys, remember you have to do a little bit of turning on that side, but you can definitely do a 90-degree turn should work on that to get a firing angle on them.
Excellent. Okay, so
Or 45-degree. What's a partial turn?
All right, and then I do a dexterity to hit because of my tactic.
Oh, solid!
Dang, nice.
All right. Oh, which one are you shooting to?
Whichever one's just closest to me, essentially. Whichever one I can see first.
Which would be closest? I think that. So I think the TIE Interceptor or the advanced TIE would be closest. All right.
Each one of these squares, was it 50 feet?
50 feet. Yep.
Okay. So we'll just put me right there. If that works. All right. and then that'll be my turn.
Sweet. Oh yeah. So click on. Oh, that was dexterity. Oh yeah. So you could still. You can still click your weapon. It's tied to your dexterity already.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Oh, no worries. So click it, and then we'll roll an extra dice to see. And then click on twin laser cannon. If you click on the right side of the chat under the twin laser cannon, it'll roll your damage for you. And then right, and roll an extra D8 because you got that nat 22.
Nope, that doesn't work. Let's see.
So if it's /R, or if you go to the dice on the right hand side, you can click a D8.
Okay, I don't see any dice on the right hand side.
So it's like a little toolbar. It's like a D20.
That's okay. So it's just you said /R.
/R.
Oh, forward
/
or
forward slash. I always get those two mixed up. That should be a space between the R and the 1D8 too.
Okay.
Sweet. All right, yeah. So you blast off, twin laser cannons blaring, and you see sparking against those shields of the TIE Interceptor. And you see it kind of flicker. It's still on, but you can see those shields kind of sparking. Doesn't look like there's too much there for it.
Nice. All right.
Sweet. All right, blue flight TIE is up. You kind of hear sparking forward, engines blaring. You kind of hear that TIE fighter whir as it goes up, and it's going to take a shot at you, Rogue 12. So it sees you take a shot of that interceptor, the advanced TIE, and you see both of its twin laser cannons light up and green energy blare out and race towards you. Ooh, sorry, Chris. All right, you see those both blast out at you for 9 damage total to your shields. Oh, and yeah, so one thing too, and I forgot to mention this too before we started too. So you had your turn too, so you get to automatically put 6 shield points back into your shield. So that should have put you at 23 before this blow hit, which would put you down to 14.
Okay. 14. Okay.
I think that was right, but don't trust my math. My math is off a lot of times. So
I trust you.
Do shields automatically regenerate these days?
Yeah, they do. So at the start of your turn, you get your shield die, which you guys are all small ships, back. So you all get 6 HP, or 6 shield. Actually, because nobody took like a different shield type outside of the directional shields, right?
No.
Yeah, because you're A-wings, B-wings, yeah, so nobody had, the Y-wings are the only ones that had a different one. So you guys always get 6 points at the start of your turn back to your shields. Now, that only applies as long as your shields are active. If your shields go down, your shields don't regenerate.
I actually get I get more shields back.
Oh, did you take a different shield type?
I'm at A-wing, so they were... where's that?
Oh, you know what?
I have quick charge shield, so I get 3 of 2 shields back.
Oh, sweet. So you get 9 points back.
Can I back up for a second? Can I use my uncanny dodge and just take half damage?
Oh, for sure.
All right. So I just kind of as it hits me, I just kind of jerk my X-wing to the side for a moment, and so the full blast doesn't completely hit my ship.
Sweet.
And so I'll just round that up. 9. It was 9, right?
It was 9. Yep. So that'd be. Oh no. So round down with this. So 4 damage to you.
4 damage. Okay. So...
Sweet. So Fendon. So Fendon, you're up. Or Fedin. How do you pronounce that? I'm gonna butcher it.
Fedin,
you're up.
Yeah. All right. And accelerate. So it's that. That's 50. 100, 150, 200 with an attack run and bonus action attack. And I'm going to attack this guy.
Sweet. All right. Yeah. So you got the fire linked module. So what are this hasn't been brought to the website yet, but it's in the errata. The fire linked, which the X wings and B wings have for this crew, which allows you to use the bonus action for a second attack without your modifier added to it. Fiden, make your first attack.
All right, and I have the venture that lets me use my dexterity rather than the ship's wisdom.
Perfect. I think that should be built into your attack roll too, so that should be good.
Yes, indeed. That is a 20.
Solid. That will hit.
All right, and that does 8 energy.
Perfect. You see it spark against the TIE fighter. You see, oh, nice. That one will hit too. Do you see kind of
Oh,
its
sorry, I
wobbling?
was clicking wrong stuff.
Oh, that was somebody else. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. So, Fidel, you still have your bonus action. You see that blast hits the TIE fighter. You see it sparking and wobbling. They don't have shields. It's still up. It's not bloodied yet, or it's not sparking too bad yet, but it's definitely feeling it.
Okay, in that case, bonus action attack, I think. You get that right as fighters?
Yep, you do. And so all of you guys should have the fire linked one. So click the fire linked one because it won't have your modifier on it.
Fire linked? Oh, there we are, linked. Okay. 14.
That just hits.
Perfect. That's additional 6.
Sweet. Not destroyed yet. You see it sparking. One of its engines like trailing fire, wobbling in the air. It's barely keeping itself from blowing apart.
Okay.
All right. The other advanced guy is up. Unfortunately, Rogue 12, they're going to be picking on you a little bit. You see, this guy's kind of seen you right in front of his viewport. He kind of starts swerving in there. You see he opens up a little port, opens on his ship, and he's going to launch a proton torpedo at you. I don't know why that says strength. That should be a dexterity saving throw.
So you need me to make a dex?
Yes, please. Oh, nice. You easily avoid most of the blast and only take 5 damage to your shields as you see that proton torpedo explode and fill the sky with just a radiant red energy. All right. Rogue, I think Rogue 11, you're the A-Wing, right?
7.
7, you're up.
Before I go, did you see my question about my ship's AC?
Let me see. Oh, yeah, so it should be 12 plus your dex.
But then plus, so 12 plus dex would be 16, and then for my lightweight armor is another 1, so it should be 17.
Oh, that sounds good.
Okay. Maybe it changed it. I thought you changed it, and I was wrong.
Okay.
I'm going to spin over here. So I guess that'd be 2. Or it's weird moving like that. 200. 3. 400, I guess.
All right.
And then I'm going to fire a concussion missile at the big guy.
All right. It saves, but it takes half that damage. So you see it sparking. Shields are still up, but definitely getting near the end of their rope.
That's all.
All right. Rogue 11, you're up.
Alrighty. How far can I move before you roll with disadvantage?
Oh, yeah. Oh, so he was trying to miss. That's good. Yeah, so 150 feet.
Okay. So I will move 1, 2, 3. just out of range. So I will use a power die for enhanced scope. So that allows my primary weapon attack to go an additional 500 feet.
Nice.
So I'll go ahead and take a shot at the lead TIE bomber there with the twin laser cannons.
Perfect. Let it roll. That will. Yeah, that'll hit. Nice. You see those bolts spark against the ship, and you see the shields hold for a second and then blow apart. And you see that damage hit into the hull.
Actually, I get to add the power die, I believe, to the roll itself.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so you get some hull damage in there, too. Solid. Yeah, you see it break apart, and you see energy leach into the hull. You see sparks starting to form, or kind of little fires starting to form on the hull.
Perfect. I guess I can move a little bit more and fire again as my bonus action for the linked system.
Yeah, so
At
yeah, you get a
disadvantage
bonus
at that
action,
point?
too. Yeah, so it'd be a disadvantage at that point, but you can definitely fire again. Just make sure to use the linked one, because it won't have your modifier to it.
Correct, yeah. So I got 300, so I moved 3, so I'll move another 3. Same target at disadvantage. Wah wah.
So you see this guy, his shields went down, he starts to panic a little bit, and you see him start to swerve and just easily avoid those rays coming at him.
I believe it's a great kid, don't get cocky moment right there.
Alright, red flight is up. This guy, you see him moving forward. He's gonna move there. So he's gonna shoot at you with disadvantage. So you see him kind of swerving around his buddy, kind of coming at you, guns blaring, just engines whirring with that TIE fighter sound, that classic, just kind of whir coming through, and his twin laser cannons light up as he tries to gain a bead on you. But for the B-Wing, your Rogue 11, your piloting just quite superior to that TIEs, and you see those green laser blasts streak past you. Alright. The other red flight is going to turn. You see him moving over, and he's going to take a shot at the A-Wing. So you see his lasers light up. With a 14, that shouldn't be at disadvantage, but the 14 will play. Will the 14 hit the A-Wing? Actually, no, it will not. The A-Wing,
Nope.
you see those blasts coming. He's telegraphed his shot, and you easily swerve around him. All right, blue flight is up with their interceptor. You see he's going to charge forward a little bit, but then he's going to open up on the B-Wing as well.
I hope he can take some punishment.
I think a 12 will miss. Yeah, you guys are Rogue Squadron. You guys are just easily, like, these are some Imperial Academy rejects. You are outflying these guys. You see the bolts coming at you and know where they're going to hit before they even know where they're shooting. And the B-Wing Rogue 11, you easily just jink and dodge. And even with your B-Wing being a little bit more ungainly than the more nimble X-Wings and the super more nimble A-Wings, you easily move out of the path of the blasters.
What do you think, guys? Should we ask him to surrender?
All right. And then the X-Wing, you are up.
So that's me. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and see here. I'm gonna have to turn. So we're gonna go. turn, kind of move in on, kind of swoop around to the back side of them, and I'll go in just for a normal weapon attack.
Perfect.
The attack run. Okay. 23 to hit.
Oh, that'll hit.
And then 7 energy damage.
Sweet. You are scoring their hull. You see energy, kind of little bits of debris and fires etching across it. It's not like it's about to explode just yet, but it's definitely getting near the end of its rope. Oh, and you haven't used your bonus action, have you?
No, I have not used my bonus action, so I have movement, attack run. I'm unfamiliar with the bonus actions for.
So you got an X-Wing, so the X-Wing has that fire linked. So it had to be at disadvantage as well, but you do have a bonus action you can use with your fire linked blast.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay. So, fire link. Okay. So that's a 13 to hit.
Unfortunately, you see him just pull up in the nick of time, avoiding that quartet of red energy blast coming at him.
All right, that's my turn.
All right, Blue Flight is up. Blue Flight is gonna. That guy over here is gonna turn and kind of jet towards you guys. He's gonna move quite a bit though, and he's gonna shoot at Rogue 12 with disadvantage. You see him kind of lining up his shot as he blares forward with his engines flaring on that side. Well, I think a 17 will hit, unfortunately. Yeah, and everybody don't forget, so Rogue 12, did you add in your +6 for your...
I did not. I did forget.
Yeah, so add that in. So every turn, as long as you have shields, that gets added in. And then you get -7, so -1 pretty much from where you were at before. You see it kind of ride in and just blast, and you see your shields absorb that impact as those green bolts come closer to you. And this guy is going to just zoom in.
I'm getting lit up.
So he is going to dash and turn. All right. Fidden, you're up.
All right. Seeing that there's somebody on one of his squad mates is 6, Fiden's going to turn. So 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300. And let's see, that puts me in the arc. Yeah, no, I'd say they're probably in the arc. Probably right there, right?
Oh, yeah. For sure, which one are you shooting at? Or either one would be in the arc.
This one, the TIE Fighter.
Perfect.
So that was a attack pattern or attack run. So this is going to be bonus action attack. There we go. 15.
All right.
Okay, and because I'm within 100 feet of a teammate, I'm going to use attack pattern Delta with a power die.
Oh, and also, too, and you guys probably remember this, but you get your power die back, one power die back at the start of each turn. I don't think any of you guys chose a special reactor or power coupling. So each turn you
did.
Oh, you did? Which one did you choose?
Hub and spoke? Or no?
I did direct, so I think I roll a 1d2.
Oh, yeah, so 1d2.
power.
Yep.
Okay, so actually that should have an advantage on that attack. Yeah, when your ship makes an attack and there's a friendly ship within 100 feet, you can spend a power die to gain advantage on the roll. So one more time. 22.
Wait, both hit.
Hoping for a crit. And I get to add it says I also get to add attack hits at the result of the die to the attack's damage roll.
Sweet. We'll roll a 1d6.
So he takes 14 energy overall.
You blast into him, and you see just smoke billowing from the TIE Fighter. It's wobbling. It's barely keeping itself in the air.
All right, that's it from my turn. Actually, no. I'm going to go a little bit more forward because I think I have like 100 feet movement left.
Perfect.
There we go. Yeah.
All right. You see the TIE advancing, you blow up or nearly decimate one of its fighters. You see it slightly angle itself towards you. It is going to take a shot at you, Fidin.
Okay.
All right. You see its twin laser cannons blaring. Oof.
Of course.
You see, this is an ace
Ouch.
pilot. He's seen how you guys juke and dodge as lesser compatriots, and he dials in on your style and gets a hit for 9 energy damage. So
Alright.
you see that blaring against your shields.
All right, I'm going to use my reaction to activate retro thrusters. Yep. So that should knock it down to let's see, 9. That should
4.
be
Yep.
4. Yeah.
Perfect. You bring that down quite a bit, and
I'm having me juke that over that way.
as you kind of juke and dodge out of the way as you see those blasters coming towards you. All right, Rogue 7, you're up.
I'm going to have my makeshift central computer deploy my buzz droid cloud on the red squadron there, since they stayed. And then I will use action to put the buzz droids out. And then just take a regular shot at the TIE fighter directly in front of me.
Sweet. So that's a
Nice.
200-foot sphere, right?
Yes.
Alright, so that's a 20-foot sphere. So fireball size.
That's cool.
And I think, can you control this? You should be able to control. Oh, no, you can't control this. Let me make you so you can control this. Where exactly are you positioning this to?
I like that spot. Well, we'll put it right there.
Perfect. All right. Let me read Buzz Droids again. Oh, sweet. Yes, they don't have to do anything right now, but when they move, they got to start taking some damage. All right. And which one are we shooting again?
The X-wing directly in front.
The TIE, yeah. Or TIE.
Yeah,
Yep,
sorry.
that hits. Roll some damage.
I was like, no.
I've played you all.
All right. That's just enough. Finish him.
All right, so the buzz droid's deployed. He's distracted, and in that instant, K9 takes a shot and hits the pilot area, like straight through the window.
You see that blast right through the window, incinerating the pilot, and you see the TIE wing break apart and just explode. And what should be a silent explosion, but Star Wars ships have speakers that play what's happening in space, so you hear that explosion go as you blow it up. They actually made it. We're heading aside. They made an inter-universe reason for why you can hear the sounds, and they have speakers that go through and play what's going on outside the ship. Super random, but I always enjoy it.
Physics be damned.
It's like the sports car. You can hear the engine through the speakers.
Diegetic ridiculousness.
All right, Rogue 11, you are up.
All right, well, I see the guy on my right, but I kind of want to finish off the guy in front of me here. So from current position, I'll go ahead and take a shot with the twin laser cannons.
Sweet.
Or actually, I guess I should reset power die.
Yeah, oh yes, roll 1d2 for you.
Well, I only used one, so.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
All right, so I will go ahead and fire twin laser cannon.
And you're shooting at the interceptor or the.
Correct. Yeah, I'm
right?
still heading straight in front of me. I want to
Perfect.
try and finish that guy off.
That'll hit. Nice. You see his shields flare and then go down.
Perfect. In that case, I will actually move up 100
Mhm.
and use my bonus action linked twin cannons.
That'll hit.
Nice.
Nice. You start lighting up his hole. You see start fractures starting to form. Yeah, he's not looking bloodied or too battered yet, but no shields. You start to see fires forming. He's definitely having a tough time of it.
That's all I got.
That's
All
fine.
right. Red Wing is up. He's gonna fly forward a little bit, angle himself. You see that TIE fighter just fingers blasting on the trigger, and just seeing those green bolts flaring out as he takes a shot at you, Rogue 11. Shouldn't be at disadvantage. Will a 17 hit you?
Yeah.
All right, so you see it blasting out, just green energy bolts etching out. But fortunately, you still have shields, and you see the shields catch that damage.
Can I expend a power die?
Oh yeah, if you have a reaction you can use, yeah, use a reaction.
Ooh, nice.
Nice, yeah. Go for it. Roll d6. Solid, yeah. Solid.
Is it just me, or does this seem kind of unfair?
We are Rogue Squadron.
Got some rogues.
Yeah.
Squashing. All right.
This is tough.
Other dude from Red Flight is dead, so Blue Flight is up. He's got no shields. You see him kind of see the ping on your ship as you hear like a little radar pinging off you, and he is blasting out a proton torpedo at you. Unfortunately, the B-Wing, you are taking some more shots, so give me a dexterity saving throw, DC 14.
How many feet in the buzz droid cloud did that TIE fighter move? And did he take damage?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that for Red Flight. Yeah, that was the last. Yeah, so he turned himself and then moved 50 feet. So let me see how much that would be. Takes 2d4 for every 50 feet it travels. We'll say that turning counts. So roll me 44.
Any second now.
All right, no worries. Nice. You see those blood droids, buzz droids. They're out for blood, so they're blood droids now. You see them going at that TIE fighter, just cutting up its shieldless hull, and it's looking battered and bruised as it gets that last shot off. It's still up, but it definitely does not look like it's having a good time of it so far. Sweet. Oh yeah, and then for the Blue Flight TIE fighter, Rogue 11, roll me a dexterity saving throw. Unfortunately, that will hit, so you take 15 damage. That proton torpedo explodes in front of the shield. Luckily, you still have shields. You feel your shield's starting to weaken and starting to falter on you. All right, Rogue 12, you're up.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and see here. I can't move 150 feet before I hit this guy, so I'm going to 50, 100, and then with that TIE fighter being my firing arc, the one to the, I guess, south of my position, the red one.
I'm not sure. I'm gonna put the little cone out. Where'd I put that?
Do buzz droids discriminate?
Oh no, they do not. So you see that buzz droid field. So I will give you a chance to get out of it. So
Okay.
if you move in there, you will take some damage, but you do see
I was gonna
that.
move out after I fire, but
If you do move in, you will take that damage though.
okay. All right. Well, in that's the case, I'll just do, if you let me, I'll go
Oh,
ahead
yeah.
and use 50,
Yeah, you know
100.
your allies' tactics.
152. I'm gonna move down here and spin around there, and I'll go ahead and fire at that one instead. And I'll go ahead and do attack pattern delta on that to allow me to have. So that'll expend my power die and give me advantage on the attack.
Sweet. So you roll that with a straight save with your movement there. Or straight roll.
Straight roll, right? Okay. So.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Critting over there, yeah. So roll some damage.
Dang.
All right. And then plus a d6, my power die, right?
Oh, yeah. So finish him.
And then, what was that, another d8 on that? Or another...
No, yours already rolled.
You already did
Yeah.
it. You already did
But
it.
nice thing, he's already dead. Play this
Nice.
game. Play this. Play this.
All right.
How do you take him down?
Yeah, so I just, exactly like I did on screen, like swoop around, see the buzzsaw droids flying, turn, get back in formation with my buddies, and just take out the target right in front of me, and he just blows up in a cloud of dust. And then I'll go ahead and get my shields back up 6 points, right?
Good. So starting your turn every time, you get 6 points to your shields.
Excellent.
Someone showing off.
All right.
That'll be my turn.
Sweet. So you see one of the blue flight's ties English ship a bit so you can get a shot. He's going to take a shot at Fidin. So you see him angle that ship. Green lasers blaring and smoke trailing from this tie. Imperials are cheap. They don't give shields to their regular TIE fighters. So all this damage is going to his hull. And with that hull damage, you see his kind of firing proficiency is greatly diminished. He tries to shoot at you, Fidin, but you're able to easily maneuver around those blows. And kind of coincidentally, you are up as well.
Well, what do you know? Guess I better take care of him. All right. Yep. Gonna fire twice at him. And let's see. Twin laser cannons. Pew. 17.
That'll hit.
He takes. Ooh, actually, I'm gonna re-roll that because I have Gauss rounds.
Perfect.
So that's still a 5.
Still a 5.
Oh,
Luckily, he
man.
had 4 HP, so finish him.
Perfect. Okay. And in that case, I am going to do some additional turning. So that was 50. That puts me at 100. And, yeah, I'll take care of the TIE Advanced up here.
Perfect.
It's a bonus action attack.
That'll
21.
hit.
Okay, I'm going to add an additional power die because it recharged at the beginning of my round.
Mhm.
And I'm going to activate Expose Weakness. When you hit with the ship attack, you expend a power die and deal additional damage equal to the number rolled. This damage cannot be reduced in any way.
Sweet. So
He's
8
going to
plus
take...
1d6. Oof.
He takes 10.
He is sparking. You see his ship is tilting. He's barely in control. You see this. That buzz. You see as he kind of starts losing control. That buzz droid field is probably going to be his end.
Fantastic.
He's up
And-
next. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, give me a second. Yeah, I still have movement.
Hmm.
So just that full kind of like Last Starfighter spin. And then I do an additional 50. That puts me at, let's see, 50, 100, 150. I'm fast, so 200, 250. And let's start up in this business. 300. And also, this guy's dead.
Got to put his little X on him. All right.
That's it for me.
This guy is up. Rogue 7, roll me 2d4. You see him kind of angle. And he starts to shoot back towards the planet. So let's see how that goes. Oh, yeah. You see he tries to flee and turn his way back and get out of the fray, but the buzz... Actually, how did the buzz droids take him down, Rogue 7?
A whole glob of them will attach themselves and just rip off one of the wings of his ship. And he'll just kind of spiral off into space before exploding.
Perfect. Just do that lazy spiral. Hear that Willem scream, then explode as he connects with the atmosphere. All right, Rogue 7
makes the dream work.
I will turn a little bit and use target acquired. There we go. Spend a power die to get advantage on that TIE fighter.
All right.
And then light him up with the laser cannons.
That'll
Nice.
hit. All right, you blast into him. He is barely keeping it. Like he is on death's door. His engine's flaring. Blasters are sparking. You see cracks forming on his hull. There's really not much left of the ship.
Hang on, I apparently get to add my power die damage to that.
Oh yeah, then he had 1 HP left. So finish him.
Well,
How do you take him down?
it's just a both bolts just rip off, hit it right beside the pilot chamber, and just shred that part out, exposing the pilot chamber to the vacuum.
You see the pilot get pulled through the gap in his hull, and you see the ship just kind of continue spiraling out, just drifting off into space without its rider.
And that's all I can do.
All right, Rogue 11, you're up. And there's one lone tie left.
There is. I'm going to regen my shield to 6 points real quick. And then I will, I guess, use all of my movement to first turn 90 and then another 45. And then I will take a shot with the twin laser cannon. I guess since I used all my movement, would that be with disadvantage?
That would be with disadvantage, unfortunately.
Alright, so, c'est la vie.
That'll hit, though.
Oh! Very nice.
Oh, yeah. Finish him.
In just the most sluggish, ungraceful turn, being the B-Wing that I am. Come around, but just line up my sights nice and true and just blast this guy into oblivion.
For you make that lazy turn and just light that guy's canopy up. You see that TIE fighter explode. And you see the ties around you are cleared. And now that you finally got a chance to breathe, you have to kind of check your scanners and take a look around the system. And you see Home 1, Admiral Akbar's kind of flagship, the Mon Calamari cruiser, just laying waste to an Imperial Star Destroyer, just turbo lasers blaring, cutting through the shields, and eventually destroying the Star Destroyer. And you see them begin to kind of the rest of the kind of the more normal squadrons, not the elite squadron like Rogue, but the other TIE fighters, A-Wings and B-Wings supporting Home 1 and the Rebel fleet. Begin to engage with the Imperial forces, and you see the tides of the battle turn. And after a little bit, you see that the Rebellion, or the New Republic, I should say, wins the day and claims Junction for the Republic and takes it out of the Imperial Warlord's hands. And as you guys clear that battle, you get a kind of all recall signal from Admiral Akbar to head back into Home 1. And get briefed for your next mission. Sweet. So you guys will be able to head back. Actually, everybody give me a maneuvering or piloting check. Just to kind of see how you guys circumvent the rest of the battlefield.
Okay.
So I'm running that from my PC character.
Your choice. You can do maneuvering for regular or piloting for disadvantage.
I will go ahead and give myself guidance on that.
All right.
Fine, be that way, game.
Sweet. So you guys, is that everybody? Oh, that's everybody. 4. Yep. So you guys fly through. Some of you have a little bit of troubling as you kind of go through some of this just maneuvering between burnt out husk of TIE fighters, remains of that Golem station, the orbital station that was in orbit renowned. But luckily, you guys are still Rogue Squadron. Even those that struggle and may have to slow down or kind of just ungainly avoid some of the obstacles, still avoid it without damaging the ship. But others with K9, K9 especially, are able to kind of whip around it. And you see just got some expert piloting coming from the droid, just really showing off some of that Rogue Squadron spirit as you guys make your way back into your docks on Home 1. And that's actually, we're going to take a quick break there. So I'm going to transition there. So break, you guys can run to the bathroom, get another drink, whatever you like there. So let me transition. And before I do that, completely transition for anybody in the chat that may have missed it, I always forget to say this too. So if you're new to the channel, drop a subscribe or follow. We gaming every Tuesday, usually Star Wars 5e, like with Rogue Squadron and my regular Invasion campaign. So drop that. If you see any cool clips or anything you want to save, clip that. We always appreciate that. And then just got to support the channel on that side. But we're going to go on break, probably about 10 minutes. So it's 8:18. So we'll get back at about 8:28 and kick off the second leg of this adventure.
All right.
Excellent.
All right, I'll be back.
Sweet.
I really like this. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, no worries. All right, everyone, welcome back to the Rogue Squadron Warlords of Serenno 2-shot. Before we kick back into the game, you saw the screen before. I had some of the upcoming content. If you're not already watching, come and join us for Invasion. That's the my kind of long-term, or my real campaign, I should say. So it's every other Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. And if you're a Digital Jedi Master Patreon, too, that's going to be our annual Patreon campaign this year. So every other month, there'll be a new adventure posted that you can run with your squad, and it's going to mirror my adventure with my squad with Invasion, too. And the nice thing, too, if you guys haven't checked it out, with Invasion, we just finished our 3rd session and just finished the adventure, too. So definitely kind of a long, some good value there. 9 hours worth of adventure you can run with your crew. And I completely misestimated how long it would take. I think I put 5 hours when I wrote it. So you get some extra bonus content I didn't expect. So have some fun with that. And then after that, too, we've got Mighty Morphin Power Rangers on the 5th of April, which I am stoked for. If you haven't checked out Renegade's system for it, I'm a 90s kid. I grew up on Power Rangers. I'm really looking forward to that system. So come check it out with us. I haven't played it myself yet. Todd actually let me know about it, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how it comes out. All right. Yeah, so as we get back in, the crew is able to navigate the field and make their way back into Home One, which is Admiral Akbar's flagship for the New Republic fleet. And you guys are able to land. You see the X-Wings, the B-Wings, the A-Wings kind of come to a graceful landing. We're going to kick this back off in numerical order, we'll say. So Rogue 7, how do you put the ship down, and what does your PC look like as they get out?
Rogue, is my baby crying too loud?
That's not too
That's a
bad.
little loud.
Okay, sorry about that.
That happens.
Someone else wants to go first.
Oh.
We'll wait.
Rogue 9, we'll have you go first.
Sure. So, landing his X-Wing on the flight deck and opening up the canopy, you will see, interestingly enough, not a traditional humanoid face, but something more reptilian, perhaps even like dinosaur-like. Because Fiden Rodgal is actually a Chistori. And if anybody who's played Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast knows what a Chistori is like, because that's Dasan.
Mhm.
Yep. And he walks out in the traditional orange flight suit. He doesn't even wait for the ladder to be brought up. He just does the full on like one hand and vaults over and lands perfectly on his feet.
Nice. You see a little protocol droid and a group of mechanics come up to the ship, and he goes, "Oh my, sir! You're supposed to wait for the flight, the ladder to come out, sir. This is against protocol." You see the droid sputtering at you.
Come on, we've been since when have you ever followed protocol?
You can see the droid pause for a second and go, "We've had over 200 violations for Rogue Protocol, but the Admiral says you guys get results, so I can't chastise you." And you see him just kind of shuffle off.
Yep. And I'll go over to the waiting area for the rest of my for the rest of the squadron.
Perfect. And after Rogue 9 touches down, Rogue 11, how do you land your craft?
All right. Well, my B-wing, not being the most graceful, it comes in as graceful as possible, nice and flat, slides in there, touch it down as smoothly as I can. At that point, Zan will wait for a ladder. Slightly older, probably middle-aged, an older Duro that grew up on the home world in the orbital cities. And then as he comes down the ladder, you see a nice dark blue-skinned Duro with 2 red eyes, one of them being a little bit darker than the other from some type of old injury. He's old enough that he remembers the Old Republic, dealing with the Empire and their xenophobia towards non-human species. Started off flying between the orbital cities and then eventually made his way into fighting with the Rebellion and into Rogue Squadrons. So he's a little battle hardened. He's seen his fair share of skirmishes and engagements, and wearing traditional orange flight suit for the Rogues, and climbs down that ladder deftly. And not the most chatty, but he'll head over with his fellow Rogues in the waiting area.
You see the protocol droid go, "Thank you, sir, for following the protocols. This is how you're supposed to get off the ladder." And you see him kind of give like a glance over to Rogue 9.
Oh, Zan pays no attention to this droid and just keeps walking past him.
You see him go, "Sir. It just kind of turns and goes back to his work.
You know, every time you use the ladder, they just hassle me more.
Perfect. All right, Rogue 12. How do you put your chip down, and what does your PC look like?
All right, so I'll just come in, nice and easy, lay her down gently. And as I come to a stop, the cockpit will open up and I'll just be sitting there just muttering to myself. It's like, I scratched it, didn't I? I scratched it. Telling me I didn't scratch it. I scratched it, didn't I? And I'll just be like super like nervous. I'll take my helmet off, and he's got red hair, kind of shaggy red hair. It's just a human. And he's like, looks down at the droid coming up to him. He's like, "Did I scratch it? Just tell me the bad news."
The droid kind of looks it over and goes, "Sir, there's a small scratch. I believe our astromechs mechanics can buff it out, but there is a kind of a tiny scratch along the wings of the system."
Oh my god, I knew it. All right, okay. And then I'll go ahead and climb down and go meet up with the rest of my group.
He goes, sir, we'll try to buff that out, and thank you again for using the ladder. And you see him go, some of the astromechs.
Zan looks at you and just says, breathe, kid, you're a rogue now.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you. Remember that. Breathe. Okay.
Perfect. All right, Rogue 7. How do you touch down, and what does your PC look like?
He'll come in, and he'll actually fly under the B wing as he's slowly trying to land, a bit of a show off, and then whip it around with a 180 and land. And as his cockpit hatch opens, he'll stand up and raise his arms and look around, waiting for the adoration from anyone that's paying attention.
All right, roll me a piloting check or a performance check. The performance will have a little bit easier of a DC. Your choice.
Alrighty, let's see what's better. Let's do piloting.
Nice. Yeah, you put it down. You see the protocol droid is, if it could be fuming, it'd be fuming. You see its photoreceptors just kind of like sparking as it looks at you, but you do see some of the maintenance staff and some of the other kind of just attendants in the area, and a couple do kind of let up a little clap and go, "Ooh, Rogue Squadron!" As they're going through, and you see the protocol droid, like it's shuffling. It looks like it's like having a glitch in its programming as it's counting up all the violations of what you've just done.
And K9 is a silver class 4 droid, and he has the horns from a reek have been fashioned to his armor from his days as a gladiator droid.
You see the droid eventually regain itself, and it goes, "Sir, I expected better from you as a fellow droid. You know the protocols. I will send them as a download to your system yet again, but you know the protocols."
He'll look at the droid, say, "Champions don't follow protocols." He'll just brush past and convene with the other rogue pilots.
You see some of the more of the text continue to clap until the droid turns their eyes on them, and they kind of slowly go back to work and begin refueling and re-equipping your starfighters. You guys are able to gather in the area. You do see a young aide kind of walk up to you guys. It's a young Republic aide, ensign level. Got the Republic uniform on. Young human, probably about 23 or so. He kind of walks up and goes, "Rogue Squadron, Admiral Akbar would like to see you in the briefing room. If you could please follow me this way, I'll bring you into him."
Absolutely. Lead the way.
You see him kind of crisply turn. They begin walking towards through Home 1, which kind of leads you through a little bit of a turbo lift array and just kind of wandering or meandering through the ship as you get towards the Admiral's briefing room. But inside, you find Wedge Antilles, Rogue One, and you also find Admiral Akbar standing in front of a holo projector as he greets the group. "Hello, Rogue Squadron. You all performed quite admirably today, but we have another task for you. Please take a seat."
Oh, okay.
Yep.
You see a gesture. You see the screen begin to flip. Let me actually move this on my screen too. So you guys should have this in your as one of your handouts, I believe, the galaxy map. And I'm going to put this up too for the viewers as well. But you guys see a galaxy map pop up on the kind of on his holo display, and begin to see Admiral Akbar begin to speak. And he goes, "All right, Rogue Squadron. We took Junction. Thanks in large parts due to your efforts, we were able to take out that orbital station before it could demolish our fleet. But as we do know, this was just one part of our grand strategy. We need to be able to eliminate the Warlord's presence from our systems. So we need to take his home planet of Serenno. And Rogue Squadron, I know we placed an unfair burden on you before, but you will be crucial to these efforts. We need you to find a way to infiltrate the Warlord's planet and bring down both his planetary shield as well as his orbital defense station to allow our fleet to come in and bombard the planet and eliminate his presence from Serenno. And you see as he speaks to a picture of the former Grand Moff, current Duke of Serenno pops up and you see kind of like he looks quite familiar to you fans. He looks like a off-brand Count Dooku. He looks like you got somebody wants to buy Dooku, but they're like, we got Dooku at home. He looks like that. Just
Wish
real,
Dooku.
yeah, wish Dooku. You see, he's trying to rock the style, but he's a little bit pudgier than you'd expect. Got a big bald spot on his head too, but you could definitely tell Duke Peronk has really tried. Count Dooku is probably one of his heroes. He's really trying to model his style off of him. You see him fill the hologram screen as Admiral Akbar continues. Yes, we need you all to figure a way to get on the planet, because if we can eliminate the planetary shield as well as the orbital defense station, our fleet will be able to come in and hopefully quickly subdue Duke Peronk and eliminate the threat of the Warlord. But he has fortified this planet into a fortress. It is going to be hard to get in and out. We have a plan that we think may work, but we do want to open it up to you as rogues. You've seen some of the most fierce fighting within both the Rebellion and New Republic. Do you all have any suggestions?
I guessing we don't have any clearance codes that would work anymore.
You see Admiral Akbar nod and says, that did work well for us in Endor. And that is currently the Admiral's plan, or the Republic's plan. I'll detail our plan, but if you have a better plan, please let us know. We want you to go to a nearby world, Findar, off the Hyperion Hyperwave Trail. Findar is currently an independent system. We do not believe it is a trap, but we believe you can go in and find the flight plans for the Imperial ship called the Imperial Dream. It is a small, or kind of a large cruiser that also escorts supply trains between Findar as well as to the homeworld of Serenno for Count Peronk. You can go through that. What we want you to do is find those flight plans and then assemble your ships and try to find a way to surprise the Imperial Dream, take it, hopefully with the ship in somewhat tack, and we would use the ship and its clearance codes to land you, Rogue Squadron, and some of our ground forces upon the world of Serenno. But, as I said, you are Rogue Squadron, you have a storied history, and we do want to hear your own ideas as well.
This Imperial Dream, do we know where it's currently located, sir?
We know it is on a supply run to Findar. What we would need you to do if you decide to go that route is to go to Findar and see. Findar is currently a neutral world. It serves both the Republic as well as the Imperials. They're trying to milk as much credit as they can out of both sides of the equation. We want you to go to that world and find the Imperial Dream's flight plan. And then stage an ambush away from Findar to take the Imperial Dream. As I said, Findar is currently a neutral world, and we cannot risk them an incident and them deciding to fully align with the Imperials.
I think I understand.
So we can't go in with any other kind of diplomatic visa.
You all are more than welcome to land on Findar, but the key word is if you go that route, not to get caught. It'll leave no trace.
Hmm.
Well, I think that's as good a plan as any, unless anyone else has any ideas.
No,
Well,
I
I
think
think-
straight out flying to Serenno will be a one-way ticket.
Hmm.
Most assuredly, rogues.
Well, if it was easy, they wouldn't ask the rogues.
Okay, so the idea is, just so I can reiterate this, go to Findar, get this flight plan so we can track the Imperial Dream. Is that right, Admirable?
That is correct, sir. We need to track the Imperial Dream, and we'd want to stage an ambush at one of its one of its exit points from hyperspace, to take the ship intact, and then load it up with the Rogue Squadron ships as well as some of our ground forces so we can get past Serenno's almost impenetrable energy shields.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Sounds like a typical smash and grab. Maybe with less smashing.
Sounds fun, right, guys?
Oh, yeah. Just like the old days.
You see Admiral Akbar nod, the Wedge Antilles kind of speaks up as Rogue One. He goes, unfortunately, the rest of the rogues will need to be occupied elsewhere, so this will be left to you in your flight to take care of. As we said, we need this ship intact, so once you do find its flight plan, find an ideal point to stage an ambush and take it down as much as you can. Once you take the ship, signal the Republic fleet, and we'll come in and load it up with ground troops as well as some other supplies to help the invasion go smoothly. Once you guys complete that aspect, we will also assist in your infiltration. We'll send one of our own capital ships along to kind of harry your ship, the Imperial Dream, as you're going through the shield generator to make it look legit and to help explain any damage your ship may come through. So, Rogue Squadron, this is a key mission. Once we take down the Warlord Perak and acquire Serenno for the Republic, the Imperial Warlord's presence in the system will be greatly diminished. So, unless there's any questions, let's get you some rest, get you back to your ships, and get you back to the good work of liberating the galaxy from the cruel Imperial network.
Sounds good to me.
No questions for me, sir.
Yes, General.
You see both Admiral Akbar kind of salute, as well as Wedge too, and Wedge kind of gives a "May the Force be with you all" as you guys exit the room. Perfect. So you guys are able to get a long rest in. I don't know because I don't think you guys use too many abilities that use a long rest, but in case you did, you're able to get one in. And we're going to have you guys go to the world of Findar. So Findar is a little bit off the Hyperion trade route. You guys actually give me a lore check too. What you guys know about Findar?
Sure.
Ooh, I'm proficient in that.
Ooh.
Where's my lore?
Nice. So K9 especially, and you may have tapped right to the Hypernet itself, but Zan as well. You guys know a bit about Findar. It is primarily, it's always been a trading planet. Before it used to be in control of one of the Khajiitics. But now, after the Imperial era and after the Emperor was overthrown, it's claimed a name for itself as being independent. It's using its kind of closest to the Hyperion Hypernet network to be able to trade with many different groups, primarily the Imperial and the Republics. And you see with that, they've got 2 different landing ports. So one for the Republic, one for the Imperial on opposite sides of the planet. And they use those as kind of their trading ports and restocking ports for both of the great nations. So you guys know that you'll be permitted to land in the Republic's port. But there's quite a bit of distance between the Republic port and the Imperial port. So it may be something you guys want to try to plan out. How you guys want to cross that distance, if you want to try to gain public transport or try to fly your ships in low and close and hopefully hide from any Imperial and Findarian scanners, or even come up with another way that you guys want to cross that distance and make your way to the Imperial ports to be able to gain information on where the Imperial Dream is going next.
Maybe we can rent a speeder.
Last speeder I rented did not work out well.
Come on, 7th time's the charm, right? We could get in our ships, but if we're spotted, it's going to be very obvious what we're doing. If we're just taking a speeder, we can probably maybe, play it off a little bit.
Yeah, I say we wear some civilian clothes and grab a speeder or some kind of public transit to get over there.
Agree. Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
This unit approves.
Maybe not public transit. I don't want to put civvies in danger if we don't have to.
Perfect. Where you guys are able to load up into your individual ships and depart home one, making your way toward, or kind of beginning the jump to hyperspace towards Vindar. It takes about a day where you guys are cooped up in your ship, but you do arrive above that homeworld of Findar and begin your descent into the atmosphere. Fortunately, it's a pretty smooth landing for you guys in that Republic hub. You guys are able to touch down, land your X-Wings, B-Wings, and A-Wings in without any incident, and are able to begin your mission. So it sounds like you guys are looking to rent a speeder or take public transport, or how are you guys progressing?
I'd recommend a speeder if we had to make a quick getaway. That way we don't have to rely on public transit for many various reasons.
Speeder works.
Yeah.
Can we get a speeder that has a weapon on it?
All right. So one of you guys, whoever you'd like to, roll me an investigation check to see if you guys hunt through the numerous bizarre things. You guys see Findar. It's a real trader's planet. Like, they are capitalizing right now off of the kind of discord between the Republic and the Empire, and you see they're selling anything and everything to try to earn extra credit in the galaxy. You see they've got different speeder points, just numerous different areas you can kind of rent something, but not all of them may have blaster points. So whoever would like to, roll me an investigation check.
I'll go ahead and do it. For some reason, my PC sheet is stuck on double rolling. I don't know why, but
did you go to the gear icon and go roll query, set it to advantage toggle?
Okay. Which gear icon?
The far right.
Powers?
Yeah, on your sheet.
Okay. I don't see it. Maybe someone else should just roll while I look into that.
Oh, no worries. I'll switch it for you real quick.
Okay.
I'll give the investigation check a roll.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, not me. I'll go ahead and give you guidance. It's a lot of d6.
Yeah, so yeah, roll 1d6 on that.
Yeah, I just give you
near
a little pat.
Solid. So you guys look through with Zan leading the charge to kind of see if you can find some good ones with the blaster or with kind of a turret attached to it. And as you guys look through, you don't find too much good stock on that side until you do find one Findarian who does have a little skiff with a turret attached to it. You see he's got a kind of little junkyard around his place. As you guys come across him, he kind of looks up and goes, "Ah, who are you? What do you want?" looking at trade?
Yes, sir. We're actually looking for speeders. Do you happen to have any of those in stock?
Yeah, we got lots of speeders. Yeah, this is Fendarian trade port. We got everything you need. You need speeders. We got speeders. But do you got credits? Because we need credits. If you know what I mean.
Possibly, yeah. We're looking for something quiet, ideally. I think that's probably the most important thing.
Speed.
Speed, yeah. I guess that's important as well. Good call.
He was quiet and fast. I can do that for you. I got that. You see him bring out kind of a skiff. It looks it looks rough. But anybody who's proficient in technology, give me a technology roll.
Not
Or
me.
is anybody proficient in technology?
I am.
I have expertise in piloting to check out stuff.
Do you have like a mechanics kit or anything?
So I think we got one technology. So whoever has that technology, give me that roll on that.
Guidance.
Guidance? Yeah, you can roll guidance with it too.
I'm going to keep adding that as many times as I can, just letting you know right now.
Oh, yeah. Basically, my rule for guidance, as long as you're not pressed for time, you can add guidance to it.
Okay.
Now, if you're pressed for time, something's falling on you or something's crazy is going on, probably can't add guidance to it.
Yeah, it takes like 6 seconds. So
Yeah. 21, solid. You take a look at this skiff. It is beat up, battered to hell. But you kind of take a look and kind of look at the engines, look at the kind of the maneuverability, and kind of hear the repulsor lifts. It's quiet, it's quick, but it doesn't have any attack functions to it.
Looks reliable though.
Looks very reliable. It looks it's battered, but you can tell that it's been kind of genuinely repaired. It looks like somebody's taking some great care to make sure it's an up and running speed and quick, quiet, and fast.
All right, I take a look at I do this look up and down, look at the rest of the group, and say, she ain't pretty, but we'll take her. She'll do.
Okay, how much are you asking for this fine vehicle here, sir?
You gotta see one of those. Goes, this is a beauty right there. And he kind of taps it with his knuckles and goes, yeah, we need some major credits. We need to fork over the wallets.
My friend here noticed a few scratches and dings on there. So, I mean, I don't think it's worth that much. I mean, we're going to have to redo the whole side panel, and that's going to cost us money.
Perfect. Somebody, so you can make me Rogue 12 or somebody else a persuasion check.
I'll go ahead and roll.
Yep, got a D6.
You gotta see him go, it's a little damage. Not too bad. It's very reliable. It's all trusted, but we'll give you a deal. I'll let you take this, and when you come back and you see how reliable it is, you can pay me the credits, and you leave me a good review too. I've used this skiff for so long. Everybody always says it's the best skiff, the very best of skiffs, and you'll say the same once you get back.
Can I roll insight to see how much he's BSing us right now?
Sure.
Yeah, 17.
Yeah, he like you look at him and he's kind of it's quite obviously his usual sales spiel. He looks like you look at him glance the ship as he's talking, and you can gather he's trying to refresh his memory on what ship he's talking about as he's going through. You see, this is kind of what he usually says to anybody that comes to his port. Though he's a little bit intimidated with you guys, so he's giving you the option to come back and pay versus the usual option to pay up front.
Well, let's take it for a test drive, and then we'll talk price when we get back.
Sounds good to me.
Sure thing.
All right. Yeah, but you come back, you tell everybody that Fendo sells the best skiffs, and I want you to put that on the HoloNet. I need those reviews.
Do you have a particular review site you want us to use, sir?
Yes, we go to GELP, the Galaxy Help System. So please leave me five iridium credits.
You bet.
Did you see him kind of bring up the codes for the skiff? It gives you guys a clearance to be able to board it. You guys are able to take off, leaving the Republic City on Fendar and making your way across the globe to the Imperial port. All right, so I'm going to need a couple of different rolls for you guys. So first roll, somebody can make a perception check. Next roll, stealth. The next, perception, stealth. Oh, so perception, piloting, stealth. So perception, piloting, and then stealth in that order. So whoever would like to go for perception, you guys can discuss that amongst yourselves and then go first.
I would like to roll stealth if I could.
What's
I
your
would
stealth
like to
rating at?
roll
I'm a
piloting.
+9.
I'm a +10.
All right, yeah, you do it.
Okay.
Got some stealthy bunch here.
All
So
right,
I'll take stealth.
I got a +7 to piloting, so I will take that
I
one.
got +8.
I'm +8 to piloting as well.
Okay, then never mind. I got a +5 to perception.
There you go.
All
Do that
you.
one.
All right, so we got Rogue 9 for stealth, Rogue 11 for piloting or perception, and who was piloting?
I can do piloting if
Yeah.
you don't.
All right,
Okay.
well,
The
I'm
guys
gonna
with a
give-
fancy 10.
I'm going to give our Duro squad mate the guidance.
All right,
So perception first.
yep, perception first.
Well, thank you for guidance.
Roll that 1d6.
Whew,
Oh,
Nice.
14.
Zan, you struggle initially, like as you're kind of going through and you see just kind of looks a little bit of like a storm has come in as you guys are going through, just blanketing the ship with rain, debris, and making it hard to see. But you kind of feel that forced connection to you, and all of a sudden you look through and you start to see a clear path, and not even see it, you start to feel a clear path, and you begin to point that out as you guys are moving through this chaotic storm that popped up on Fendar. All right. Next roll.
Next one is stealth.
Stealth, yep.
Okay, because I used the guidance on him, I'm going to go ahead and just roll this straight. Don't mess with me, dice, please. 21.
Solid. So as you give Zan that this extra bit of force guidance, you're able to kind of just expertly maneuver through the storm, using it to cover your own tracks as a skiff, and making it almost nearly impossible for both the Imperials to visually sight you as well as to pick you up on their scanners as you move closer to their port city. All right, last roll, piloting.
Oof. Ouch.
So, Drayden, you try to pilot through this just mess of a storm using Zan's kind of coordinates and sticking to Fidan's flight path. But this storm is just rocky. You feel winds and torrents just buffeting you across, making it quite difficult. Drayden, give me a dexterity saving throw for the crew.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. You guys see, Drayden tries to steer out of it, but you see as you guys are coming across, you see a little bit of a rocky outcrop. As the hover ship the hover skiff goes over it, kind of destabilizes you a little bit. And you do take a little bit of damage to yourselves, kind of as you rocked around and jostled through this torrential storm. So you guys are going to take 2d8 of HP. Oh, that's a rough one.
Good lord.
Yeah.
That's almost half my health.
We're all dead. Sorry, guys. Game
So
over. Just crashed into some rocks.
jostled and bashed about. You see the skiff, which was already looking a little rough before, takes a little bit of a cut, or kind of a deep cut to its bottom, but still flying right. Nothing's been impaired with its essential functions. But you guys know that Fendo is going to take notice of that damage when you guys come back. But fortunately, you guys passed 2 of the 3, and you were able
Sorry,
to
guys.
make it in unnoticed. Go ahead, guys.
I'm going to go ahead and use a med pack. Excuse me. Could be a hit die. So, all right. And I'm going to use one of my force powers.
All right.
I'm going to, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to use heal. So I believe that's a, what is it? Yeah, D8 plus my force casting. So another 4.
All
Okay.
right.
That puts me at 19 out of 21.
Anybody else taking any healing measures as you guys arrive into the Imperial City?
K9 will use one use of his repair kit.
All right.
Stupid Walmart repair kits.
What's
What
the roll
about-
for a med pack? A D8?
So it's your hit dice. Whatever your I forget what your class is offhand, but whatever your hit dice is for your class.
Gotcha.
I'll say one of my players he plays a droid occasionally, and like he always fails. Not fails, but always does poorly with any of his like repair kits or the self repair things. He always has terrible luck with it. Burger. So who do you, actually? I think he's played a droid on the last few streams, but whenever he plays a droid, he has rough luck with it. Oh, nice.
Not you. Very nice. So have we arrived at our destination then?
Definitely. You guys make it into the Imperial City, the port city on Fendar, and you see as you guys kind of make your way into the first rim of the city, it's kind of spawning with Imperials. You see stormtroopers maneuvering through, kind of going their routine patrols. Fortunately, you don't see any like fighters or speeders in the area patrolling on the outskirts, and you guys are able to kind of maneuver in unnoticed and make your way close to the city. But you know that your destination, that Imperial port, is about 5 kilometers ahead of you. So a little bit of distance, not too far. You guys need to make your way without attracting undue Imperial attention.
Given that this is an Imperial port, there would have to be signs of resistance going on, right?
So with this, because there's 2 ports on this, is an Imperial and a Republic port. Most of the resistance, or most of the people that would resist, are on the Republic port. But make me an investigation or maybe an investigation check to see if you do find any signs of people resisting that Imperial presence.
I was asking that because I have, as part of my background, rebel kinship.
All right, make me that investigation check with advantage.
Okay. I spent the last 20 years fighting these guys. Let's see. Investigation is pretty poor for me, but I have guidance. And 14.
You look around as you make your way inside the city and kind of leave that skiff behind, and you do see some signs of resistance. You see kind of a hastily repainted over graffiti sign with the Republic symbol on it. You do see kind of it looks like a little bit of a barcode, which you can kind of scan your data pad up across, which may indicate where some of the Republic or Rebellion cells are located on the planet.
Yeah, I'm hoping if we can link up with one of them, they might be able to give us some information about, like, where the flight pad might be located, how many Imperial ground forces we should expect, etc.
Perfect. So you locate that barcode. You know you're going to need somebody that's proficient with sifting through data, somebody that's good with technology to kind of sift through that barcode and find where exactly to meet with the resistance forces.
That's not me.
I am proficient-ish.
Give that ish a go.
I'll give you guidance for D6.
All right, you try to boot it up, but you see that there's like the rebellion. They've always had to use ever-changing codes to make sure that they're not spotted by the Imperials, and this is giving you quite the time of it. And you're gonna have to sit there for longer than you'd like. Everybody, give me a stealth check as you guys are kind of waiting for Zahn to decrypt this data.
Okay. Who's got the lowest stealth?
That would be me.
I'll give you guidance.
I do
Well,
have.
one.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast Smuggle.
Ooh.
Nice. All right.
So, yeah.
Very nice. All right. I'm still giving our droid guidance. Actually, can I do that? I think I can affect droids with it.
I think so. We'll give it to you.
Yeah. It just says creature.
Didn't even need it.
All right, you guys are killing stealth so far.
Am I rolling stealth as well, or am I too busy teching
Oh
it
yeah,
up?
you can do stealth as well.
Wah, wah.
So it's a plus 10 to that, though.
Yeah. It's 14.
Fortunately, Zahn, while you're kind of bent over, just really kind of decrypting this data, the rest of the crew, and who cast Smuggle again?
That was Drayton.
Drayden, you cast that Smuggle, and you hear that white noise emitter echoing out, kind of covering the sounds of you guys maneuvering around, and holograms disguising your presence. Unfortunately, Zan, even though you're not really paying attention to how noticeable you are, Drayden, Smuggle, and the rest of the crew expertly blending into the background of it, cover up your efforts, and you're able to go through and sift through that data. And you do find a rebellion storehouse, kind of a rebellion gathering point, not too far away, probably about a kilometer away from your current position, closer towards the Imperial port, too.
Nice.
Perfect. Are you guys heading there, or are you doing anything crazy beforehand?
Hmm.
Do we want to do anything crazy, you guys?
I would recommend against crazy.
See, now this makes me want to do it more. I put away my spray can and just, start hitting with everyone else.
Perfect. Well, luckily with that stealth roll, that Smuggle's still active. You guys are able to make your way to the rebellion safe house with not too much, without any difficulty. You see a young Rhodian, probably about 18 or so, kind of standing in front of the door. He kind of looks you over and goes, "Who are you? Why are you here?"
Oh, I'll go ahead and step up then. Yeah, you just see this. I want to say like 6'7", maybe 6'8", Chistori just walk up to this kid of a Rhodian, full on imposing. And I think in that case I'm going to pull out my. I'm going to make sure I'm going to look back and forth and seeing. Is anyone paying attention to us right now?
Give me a perception check.
Okay. Good. 24.
Fidel does a good look through and kind of touches on a little bit of the, and kind of looks around and sees, and kind of feels a little bit too as the force flows through him. Nobody's paying attention. This Rhodian's did a good job of making himself look discreet. You guys did a good job of sneaking up, especially with Drayden's smuggle tech hiding you guys in plain sight too. Nobody's really paying attention to you guys so far.
I'm trying to think, will we have anything that identifies us as members of the New Republic? Or this being more of a stealth mission we have left that behind?
I'll leave that to you guys. So usually you do have your little Republic or Rogue Squadron badge, which has that emblem with the 12 X-Wings going to go in separate directions. And you guys do have that usually with you, unless you would have left that behind.
Could K9 have stashed that somewhere within his armor plates?
Sure, well, yeah, definitely say he had a little,
Oh.
little hidey hole in his armor plates.
In that case, I'm Jester for K9. They're going to walk over. Like K9, the badge.
K9 will look around, pretend like he's looking discreetly. Lights reflecting off of his chrome head, and he'll hold up his hand, and the palm will open up and display the emblem, and then it'll close again.
We could use some of your help, Kit.
You guys are Rogue Squadron. Rogue Squadron.
Hey, no, shh, quiet.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Keep down low. Yeah. Go inside. We got leaders inside. Cool. Be calm. Be casual. We're casual. I'm being casual too.
Jester for everyone else to head inside.
He opens the door. Kind of gestures for you guys to quickly go inside. Tries his best to look casual after you leave. But once you're down there, you do see what looks probably familiar to all of you guys, especially some of the old veterans who fought with the rebellion of the Republic through years. This is clearly a rebel hidey hole. You see kind of just scattering bits of technology around, scanners. You see bits of kind of stolen, pilfered, acquired tech, some imperials, some of it older from the Republic, some of it cutting edge. So kind of just a mixed match. Blasters, equipment, armor, and all that scattered around. Definitely kind of what they could scavenge or what they could gather up cheaply or quickly in the area. But eventually you are led to where one of the generals are, General Kevin. And you guys see him standing there. You have that typical Findarian appearance, the super long arms and green skin. And you see him look at you guys and go, my scout said that you guys are Rogue Squadron. Have you come to liberate Findar?
We're actually here to
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
It's part of the plan.
Yeah, we've been sent here to recover the flight plan for an Imperial ship.
You see him nod and go, we know the Imperial spaceport well. How can we assist you in this endeavor?
So the name of the ship is called the Imperial Dream. Have you heard of it?
You see him kind of look, one of his aides comes forward and brings a data pad and goes, we have. It frequently stops here every other month and lands in Port 6. Fortunately, we do not have its flight plans, but we do know where it keeps its berth.
Well, that's very convenient. Do you have any idea where we might be able to obtain the flight plans?
You see him nod and go, fortunately, we don't have it in our own database, but there is a overall Star Hangar database deep within the Imperial docking port. If you can go there, and hopefully without tripping any of the alarms, you should be able to download all of their Imperial flight plans to a data pad and bring that back to your leadership.
Okay. That's great. Okay. Do we know how well the ship is being guarded?
You see him kind of gesture back at the person that had the data pad, and he kind of takes a look at it and goes, you can get to the docking port. The Imperials have some stormtroopers stationed around, but if you're able to outwit them or outfox them, you may be able to get in without too much difficulty. The ship itself, though, and he kind of takes a look. Personally, I would not assault it on the world of Findar. The numerous stormtroopers are on the ship, but also that could give support to it within the space station. But if you can get to the terminal without noticing, you should be able to proceed.
Okay. That's good to know.
While we're in there, General, is there anything perhaps maybe we can grab and relay it back to you? You find folks here fighting the fight?
You see him kind of lean in eagerly, and he goes, "My friends, we do not need information. But," and you see him kind of wave to one of his aides, "if you could plant," and you see this box come through, this is a thermal detonator cluster. If you could plant this in a good spot, once you get out, it'll help our aims on Vendor.
I think we can make that work, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I like blowing up imps.
Fist
And
bump.
you see a lot of the Fendari soldiers goes, "Hoo-yah! Blow up the imps!" And you see the general pass over this device to you. He goes, "All right. Make sure to set this off after you leave, but get that information, get out, blow up the imps, and I feel like we'll all be able to celebrate under the Republic banner before this is all through." Perfect. Well, he hands
Sounds
that.
good. Oh, in that case, General, could we potentially bum or buy a couple of med packs off you guys?
Somebody roll me. One person roll me a 1d20.
I've had enough rolling for the group. I'm honest. So it's not just me. Okay.
So as you try to you can see him look around and try to see if he can find any more supplies. After a moment, you see some of his aides come up to him and unfortunately, the imperials have tapped us out. The battle has been bloody and vicious, and they've cleared out most of our reserves. Unfortunately, there's little aid I can provide to you.
I understand.
But my friends, I do wish you well and hope the Force will be with you as you guys go about your endeavors.
Before we leave, K9 would like to write his designation number on a piece of paper and hand it to that guard that let us in. It's like an autograph of sorts.
You see the guard, he's trying to act casual, but you see he is clearly like fanboying out. He kind of goes, what? Thank you. Yeah, you kind of see him pocket it, but he's trying to look real casual as he pocket it, but he kind of drops it and picks it back up and tries to pocket it again. And he goes, yeah. May the Force be with you. As you guys go. All right, well, you guys know your way to the Imperial spaceport. Smuggle is still active, but give me one more stealth check as you guys make your way over.
He's got the lowest stealth. I'll give you guidance.
Yeesh.
That guy has the lowest stealth.
Roll a d6.
All right. So does that plus 10 apply to me as well, GM?
Oh, yeah, everybody. That's it.
Yeah, okay.
I think you can do up to like 6 or however, but definitely more than enough for all of you guys. All right. So fortunately, this is another group roll. You guys are able to beat that DC. Definitely thanks to Smuggle on that side. They're able to make your way through the winding streets of the Imperial side of the Findar and head towards the Imperial spaceport and make your way through that first ring of Imperial security. Go ahead.
Oh, I was like, how does security look right now? Do they look like they're alert? Are they on edge? Or are they just typical, like, stormtroopers milling about?
Give me an insight check.
Sure thing. 19.
You guys see the stormtroopers you've come across, the other Imperial personnel, they all seem like they look like they're putting on a good show of being prepared, But it looks like they really haven't had much conflict or much kind of need to be alert. And you see they are clearly slacking in their vigilance, which is how you guys are able to kind of bypass that first layer of security. You see kind of people are just not really paying attention. One stormtrooper you come across looks like he's staring at his data pad, kind of just scrolling, and scrolling. But you guys do make it through that first layer, and you do see kind of on the outskirts of the Imperial hangar a little bit of open kind of ground ahead of you until you actually make to the interior of the hangar, and you do see kind of roving squads of Imperials maneuvering about. They do still all have that kind of not carefree but not super alert attitude as they're patrolling through. Like they're not expecting much, but they're required to do so. But and you see the kind of squads maneuvering around, kind of doing their routine patrols between you and that Imperial spaceport. What's the crew doing?
You guys have any ideas?
I think I tried to distract him, maybe.
Distraction. Okay.
Yeah. Looking around. Are there any like any of those like loaders that are droid piloted?
Give me a perception check.
Okay. 8.
Fortunately, you look around and it looks like these Imperials are the do-it-by-hand Imperials, and you do see some kind of stormtroopers moving gear, and you do see a couple hover carts, but no loading droids.
Maybe a couple out-of-control hover carts?
Or, hear me out on this one, I cast a holographic decoy.
Nice.
It's not a bad idea, but as soon as they figure out it's a hologram, they're going to know something's up.
What would the decoy be? Like, how can we? This is like just like a rancor, just like.
Maybe someone important, like the admiral.
Maybe, or maybe we can get like a general to just tell him to leave. I don't know. Can he say stuff?
I don't think so.
Oh, bummer.
It's purely visual.
How big can you make it?
It doesn't say.
Which ability are you using?
Holographic scout technique. Holographic decoy.
I'll pull that up real quick. So, while we're seeing what size you can make it, what are you kind of leaning towards so far for what you'd do with it?
Sorry, it's under illusionist technique. If you're looking for it there, and then
yeah, it doesn't give a size range. So I'll say you can go up to large for it.
Can anybody imitate the sounds of a rancor?
So somebody give me a performance check if they'd like to.
sorry, I was reading stats when we got the description of where we are. Are we still on our way to where we're going to get the data, or are we at where we need to go in and get the...
So you guys are outside the Imperial spaceport. You've made your way through the first wave of, or kind of the first layer of defense without being noticed, due in part to smuggle, but you do kind of have some open ground ahead of you between making your way where you are currently into the actual spaceport itself.
What if we just like use the hologram, you guys, to like say we have a package to deliver? This hologram could just be the same crate.
Hologram can't talk, so I'm actually more keen on the original idea of just causing a minor distraction by pushing a cart or the.
Right, and that's kind of what I was saying. Is like maybe we can like, use the hologram as the cargo we're transporting.
I say we save the hologram for when we're inside for the next distraction. I think just causing the distraction with the cart should be enough to get us in. Hopefully.
Yeah. If we can spend it as being a malfunction, then they won't have a reason to raise security.
Exactly. Keep it simple for now.
Sure.
Okay.
Sweet. So, what exactly are you guys doing?
Sounds like maybe hacking a couple hover carts and just sending them careening in a couple different directions.
All right. So whoever's going to be doing that slicers check or technology check, depending on what kit you have, give me first a stealth and then a slicers check or technology if you don't have for higher DC if you don't have slicers. So who's taking a shot at that?
Do we have a slicer?
Yeah, I think we said before, like, we didn't really have a tech guy. There was like one tech guy, right?
Yeah, I've got a security kit, but not slicers.
I mean, I'm proficient in tech. I could do it. I might need some.
Well, does anybody have tinkerers or mechanics kit?
I have Tinker's implements.
Yeah. So tinkers will work too.
All right. So is it tech check?
So give me. So are you just proficient in tinkerers?
Yes.
All right, yeah. So give me a tech check if you'd like, unless you'd want to argue for a different stat other than intelligence as you make that tinkerer's check.
Yeah, I'll do it.
All right.
Tech check. Here we go. There we go.
I'll give you guidance.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
give me a stealth check as well.
Stealth check. Oh my gosh.
My guidance is not doing well today. That's a
Stealth.
lot better.
Perfectly. You were able to move fairly unnoticed as you make your way towards some of the hover loaders and moving between the Imperial patrols and the stormtroopers utilizing it themselves. And you kind of get there, you're having trouble tinkering with it, and you kind of it takes you a while to get that hatch open and start to kind of fiddle around with it. Give me one more stealth check.
As a group or just me?
Just you.
Yeah, not as good.
Nice. You still have smuggle, fortunately, which you cast it too. So yeah, so you're not moving as stealthy as you know you can be. But fortunately, you got your own program working to help you out here. And eventually, you are able to pop open the hatch and begin kind of tinkering with the hover cart. And what exactly are you looking for that hover cart to do?
I think we just want to just like send it in the opposite direction, just make as much noise and commotion as we can.
This is like a loading area, right?
Definitely. So, yeah, so you kind of see things being unloaded and loaded. You see patrols moving through with the Imperials. It's kind of a little bit of a staging area before the actual hangar itself.
Is there like a large stack of containers? Like a tall stack that would take forever to put back, and they have to call people
For sure.
for assistance?
Yeah, there definitely is.
Okay.
Sounds like you guys are sending the hover cart towards that stack.
Sure. Yeah, let's do that.
All right. You guys see that hover cart kind of just whip away from Drayton and kind of swerve and maneuver through. You see patrols dodging aside, and you see it smash in to this kind of large, precariously stacked deck of crates. And you see it kind of wobbles and weebles, and for a second it doesn't look like it's going to fall. But then you do see it come all crashing down. And you hear one of the stormtroopers go, "Crip that! We just got that going." And you see one of the guys throws his blaster rifle and just starts yelling as he sees that tumble of crates go through. What's the crew doing?
I guess we're gonna move in, right? That's the idea.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Perfect. Give me another stealth check with advantage for the whole crew.
Nice. Ooh.
Solid. Yeah, you guys get in gear with your own kind of just sneaking properties, especially with that distraction going on at the same time and Drayton Smuggle running in the background. You're able to easily kind of maneuver around the remaining Imperial patrols, and you guys just see that one stormtrooper just throwing a fit, kicking dirt, and yelling at this crashed hover cart and pile of crates and are able to make your way inside the Imperial docking port. So you guys know from the what the rebellions told you on the planet that you guys are fairly close. There's probably just one more leg of the journey to make your way towards where you can kind of dock in and download some data on what the Imperial train is doing. Inside this facility, you do see kind of more stormtroopers. Some of them look like they're heading towards outside to see what the commotion is, but you do see a couple. And as you guys take a look around, give me a perception check.
All of us, just one.
Oh yeah, the whole crew for this one. Perfect. Well, Drayden, Fidin, and K9, you guys take a look around and you can spot that data pad that you need to reach, or kind of that terminal or have that data you need. But you also see, kind of standing next to it, what looks to be actually another canine droid. One of the Imperial, just overall kind of data droids as well as security, is standing next to that Imperial terminal. What are you guys doing?
Okay, well, I think now would be the time for the holographic decoy.
If that doesn't work,
Sorry?
No, go ahead.
What do you guys think of having a hologram of just a stormtrooper running frantically in circles to cause a distraction over there?
Yeah, I think that might work until they go up to it and is like, "What's going on?" And then it just keeps running around in circles. Yeah, I mean, that's confusing.
Well, I guess how long do we need to hack this terminal? That'll be the next question.
We have to deal with this droid, right?
Should probably plan for at least a turn. Maybe more, depending on how things go. If that doesn't work, I have a secondary plan.
All right.
If this K9 went up to relieve that droid, since they have K9 models here, I just don't know if they have transmitter codes or something.
Sure, is it like?
Hey, you don't work here.
Is it like an insignia or something?
Give me an intelligence save.
I have a forgery kit. I can like draw.
Oh, yeah, I can assist with that. I also have a forgery kit.
K9, you rarely run into other droids of your type. You're not exactly sure what protocols they do have, but you do notice they do have an Imperial sigil on their breastplate that you would probably want to imitate if you wanted to go towards them.
Do we hologram the Imperial sigil?
Oh, we can probably just paint it on you. We got a couple forgery kits here.
That's probably the better bet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, save the spell slot.
So one of you guys, so you can either one of you guys give me a forgery kit with advantage, and I'll let you guys make an argument for what skill you want to use as you're doing that forgery kit. Whoever wants to roll.
Probably dexterity, right? Because we're trying to make it as as seamless as possible.
That would work.
Right.
Who wants to take the roll there? Or if you guys want to, you can each roll one, and we'll see who has the higher score for it.
Sure, you can do that.
Okay.
All right.
You do.
As you guys kind of squabble over the design, it takes you a bit to notice, but you do see that Drayden kind of easily matches up some of those harsh Imperial lines for the sigil. And you see his probably just a little bit cleaner, a little bit more likely to be unnoticed by the droid as a fake.
Yeah, I'm just like, I think he goes like that. I've never like seen one this close before. Like usually we're not paying much attention to this when we're shooting at them.
Yeah, no, usually I'm painting over these things.
I think that's right. I think that's pretty close.
Yeah, no, it looks good.
All right, K9.
Well, K9, you've always wanted to tattoo, right?
Just look down at it and make a sad robot sound.
I'm
Don't worry,
gonna
not
pat
funny.
K9 to give him guidance for what's coming up.
Perfect. K9, you approach the other K9 droid, and you see, kind of photoreceptors turn towards you and goes, "What is your purpose here?"
As intimidatingly as possible, like talking down to him, K9 will say that he's been reassigned to the warehouse to assist with the incident that's occurred. They need the extra lifting capacity of the droid to right the supplies that have tumbled over.
All right. Yeah, make me an intimidation check on that. And you do have guidance if you want to use it.
I do.
Yes.
Not bad.
You see the droid kind of like, you see its processor clearly whirring as it tries to figure out what's going on. It goes, you gotta see it start out of this unit. You could lift just as well as this unit. All right. Reporting to warehouse to go lift the drudgery, take over, and guard the port. And you see it kind of slowly plod off towards the data port outside of the station, or plod off towards the warehouse mess that you guys caused. The data port is unguarded.
Do we have comm links?
Probably,
I'd assume
yeah.
So, yeah.
I do.
Cool. K9, can you get in there? Get the flight plans?
Somebody should assist me with that.
Don't look at me.
Can I help him since I'm proficient in technology?
You can.
Yeah, because the other droid like left, so you can like probably just run over there now, right?
Yeah. That's what whoever's proficient in technology, just give me a straight roll with that.
Just imagine the droid just like, I'm gonna need help with this.
Nice. So as K9 kind of like shrugs and goes, you guys take a step back from the terminal. You are able to make it there. And you are able to quickly and expertly pull up the flight plans of not only the Imperial Dream, but some of the other Imperial ships that come through the port of Fandar, and are able to do it without attracting any notice. You guys see that the Imperial Dream is going to be leaving. It's going to be taking a couple stops as it heads towards the world of Serenno. You kind of see a couple of different points where you may be able to stage a bit of an ambush where you know it's going to leave hyperspace and maybe a little bit vulnerable. You guys have that on the data pad, but not enough time to review it so far. But yeah, so far you're unnoticed. You've got the data you need. What do you guys do next?
Where do they keep their?
How long? Oh, sorry.
Was it?
How long was the delay on the bomb they wanted us to leave? Did we get that information?
Oh, it's comlink signaled, so you could trigger it even if you're out of the place.
Where do they keep their hyperfuel?
Give me a perception check.
I was gonna say here seems like a good place, but that's a better idea.
Give me a sec. 24.
Nice. You take a look, and Fadan, you've been with the rebellion for some years. You know how the Imperials plot and kind of lay out their spaceports. You may have done this maneuver once or twice yourself. You see, kind of on the far side of the room, there's like a little door with a hazard symbol above it, and you know that's probably where they store their. Not only just their hyperfuel, but some of their other more combustible elements, proton torpedoes, things like that may make a big boom.
You just see Fiden kind of look over that door and just gets a wide reptilian grin.
What's the path looking like to get over there?
With 24-2, you see that there are some Imperial patrols, but a number of them have gone after that warehouse spill and are trying to help pick up as those that kind of leaning tower of Pisa crates crash down.
So do we want to head over there as a group, or just send one lonely bugger over there?
Well, I'm kind of thinking, you guys, like, is there any way we can sabotage this thing? Not to, do any permanent damage, of course, but like maybe make our jobs easier later, so to speak.
You mean the ship?
The ship, yeah.
Do we want to alter the data they're going to send?
Perhaps. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
The excuse could be increased rebel patrols.
I so you guys think of changing his flight plan?
We
It's
could.
not a bad idea, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we can maybe switch out the coordinates to make them just jump somewhere random. They have no help.
Well, no, we could send them. We could send them to a place of our choosing, so we can have a better ambush.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. If you guys are going that route, none of you guys have slicers. Give me a technology check.
Yeah.
Whoever's trying to reroute those flight plans for the Imperial Dream.
Well, I will give you guidance.
Oh, bless you.
All right.
Roll that d6.
I'm just rubbing your shoulders like, you can do this, man.
Nice.
17.
You are able to bypass the Imperial Dream systems and using the hangar tech, plant a new flight plan in there. And for the ambush spot, what type of ambush spot are you guys looking for? Because it'll basically revert into out of hyperspace, kind of along this route. It's still going to be kind of towards Serenno, but definitely in a spot that could be advantageous for the group. What are you guys looking for as you plot this this jump point or revert point for them?
Maybe a gas giant with a large kind of asteroid ring system, places for us to hide, and they can't jump out immediately.
All right. So
What
good
are you guys feeling?
No, I
Sounds great. Like, even if there's sounds great.
All right. Yeah, so you're able to plot that in. There's kind of a uninhabited planet not too far from Findar that's kind of in a gas giant surrounded by asteroids and nebula fields in there. That once they revert back into from hyperspace, it'll take them some distance to get out of that gravity well. Definitely some spots where you guys can set up and hopefully ambush them without too much difficulty. You guys are able to plot that in and fairly confident that will stick and probably be too much for this lax crew to notice.
And while they're doing that, I'm going to take this big cartoon bomb and go put it next to the all explosives.
Give me the stealth check.
Okay. There we go.
Solid.
26.
You are able to easily make it there. None of the patrols pay you any mind, and you hear people complaining about that big mess of box I go through. It goes, we need to get new Griffin droids. Every time that they program those hover carts, something goes wrong. You go, yeah, Griffin no. As the stormtroopers are just kind of talking and complaining about their work situation, you're able to get there as Rogue 9 and get that bomb into place. What's the whole crew doing now? As you've got the data, you've got the bomb into place. Anything else you want to do here?
I think it's time to split now, right, gentlemen?
Oh, yeah.
Exit stage left.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
I could do another smuggle if you guys want, if that'll help GM.
Yeah, definitely. So give me roll. Use another smuggle. And everybody give me a stealth check plus smuggle.
I'll suggest to our scout, just in case we get caught, maybe have that explosive on a near dead man switch, because we need a big distraction.
Okay.
All right, stealth.
Perfect. You guys are able to maneuver out of the facility without drawing any undue attention. You're able to make your way back onto the streets of the Imperial Port City without anybody trying to take a notice of you. You just see people complaining about the mess and stormtroopers picking up the boxes as you make your way out. and head back towards the skiff that was rented for you. Are you guys are you blowing the place now, or what are you blowing the place? I should say.
I would really like to just everybody hop in the skiff, and then as we're flying away, do the cool push the button, no look behind, explosion in the background as we fly away.
Yeah.
Sweet. You guys fly off into the Fendarian sunset, and you hear one explosion as you press the button. And for a second, nothing else happens, but then you hear multiple smaller explosions leading into a larger explosions, and you see a big flash of light behind you as a good chunk of the Fendarian spaceport goes up in a blaze from both your bombs and the hyperfuel, as well as the proton torpedoes that were stored in that room, all catch ablaze and take out the Imperial presence on the planet.
Wow, that was a pretty big explosion, you guys. You don't think we overdid it, did we?
Don't look at it, kid. It's cooler if you don't look at it.
Are you sure?
Oh, we lost a couple.
Perfect. As you guys fly off into the sunset, that's where we'll wrap up today. So the next session, we'll go with the ambush of the Imperial Dream and
Just
making your way onto the planet of Serenno to take on the discount Count Dooku, Duke Parak, and liberate the planet for the Republic. Sweet.
Right.
So thank everybody for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. If you haven't yet, drop us a follow for the channel. Every Tuesday we'll have something like this too. And we'll be placing this to you on the Dungeon and Jedi Masters YouTube next Tuesday. So if you haven't subscribed there, subscribe and check out this all at once. But thank you guys for attending, and may the Force be with you.
We only caught the last 5 seconds of that. Let's let you know.